Onward, the latest movie from Pixar Studios, has just been made available digitally in the face of the coronavirus outbreak. It stars Tom Holland and Chris Pratt as the main protagonists and takes place in an interesting hybrid world. It's a world that began as a typical fantasy land with elves, unicorns, magic, and other fantastical elements. But as we learn at the beginning of the film, because magic was difficult to master, in time people switched over to technology instead. And so we end up with this world filled with magical creatures, but otherwise looking just like ours, with cars, mobile phones, television, what have you. And I think this mix of two worlds is done in a wonderfully creative way and is definitely one of the key strengths of the film. Anyway, Ian and Barley are the two brothers. Ian is played by Holland. He's the younger one. He's a shy and introverted guy, unsure of himself and his place in the world. Barley is the more outgoing one and jovial, and but he's seemingly an underachiever. Instead of pursuing a career or education, he mainly concerns himself with everything magic related. He's a big nerd that plays RPG games and collects cards and so on. Only, of course, in this world of the film, that is not so much fantasy as it is history. The boys grew up without a father who died when they were both young. On Ian's 16th birthday, they receive a gift from that late father that he wanted them to have, and that gift ends up being a magical staff and instructions to a spell that will bring him back for 24 hours so that they can spend one more day together. Unfortunately, when they try to cast that spell, they both they botch it and they end up with just the lower half of Dad's body, just the legs essentially. In order to finish the spell, they set off on a journey to find a missing crystal component, and of course they have to hurry before the full day passes and the Dad disappears again, finally, for the final time this time. So after the first trailer dropped, a lot of people have commented on how different the characters look from the typical Pixar stuff, how they resemble DreamWorks movies much more. There is something to that, but I think it should in no way be taken as an insult. It's simply a different style of animation that in here certainly works just as well. Particularly even outside of the characters, Onwards is absolutely beautiful. The environments, the elemental and weather effects, the objects that clutter the world. I mean, this is no surprise at this point because Pixar people are wizards at their craft, but yeah, the movie is very pretty. In terms of its structure, it also resembles some of the recent Pixar films as well. I thought mainly of Coco, in a way that it sets up the world, its protagonists are set on an adventure, are sent on an adventure by the film, and then towards the end, the film hits the audience with a massive emotional punch that leaves everyone in tears. Onward kind of follows this formula, but it manages to feel fresh nonetheless because of how unique and fun the world is. The mixture of magic and technology is truly amazing and leads to some inventive set pieces and obstacles that the protagonists face. The film also really taps into the adventure part of it, I'd say even more so than Coco. It embraces its setting and sends the heroes and the audience on a really magical, fun, enjoyable ride. And of course, when it gets to the end, tears are shed and it's all really lovely and charming and moving. Two more things I really liked about Onward. The final set piece is incredible, both in terms of pure visuals and the overall entertainment value. It just feels epic in every sense of the word. And two, all background characters are pretty much fantastic. The highlight for me was the mum of the boys, who eventually goes after them. And this regular mum shows some amazing badassery in the film, which is so fun. I was almost cheering out loud. Go, mom. So to sum all of this up, I think Onward ended up being a better film than I expected it would be. It's an entertaining, heartwarming movie that I think will be equally enjoyable to kids and adults alike. It manages to take familiar elements and craft something new and fresh from them. So, what's not to like?